There may never again be an arc like the Coalition Invasion, not just in Kingdom but maybe in all of manga. As much as Kingdom fans to this day do praise the Coalition Invasion as the most epic arc in Kingdom, the overarching vision behind this storyline is still underappreciated. Not just in how elaborate the setup was, not just in how it was executed, but the countless pieces of storytelling that came together all at once in a way that I've only seen One Piece's Marineford hold a candle to. And to fully understand what I mean, I'm gonna first talk about the Coalition Invasion from a writing standpoint. So what Hara actually accomplished in terms of structure and narrative, designing the first 400 chapters of Kingdom around this climactic event, before getting into the deeper themes and symbolism that has set the foundation for the rest of the series. To begin with, the Coalition Invasion really was all about Shin, and the way it reframed Shin's journey to becoming the greatest general under the heavens is the most important element of the arc to break down. However, before we get to Shin, we actually first need to start with Oki. You'll understand why in a bit. When we first meet Oki, he's a bigger fish in a small pond, the notorious monstrous bird of Shin, doing as he pleases during the squabble of two royal brothers, who easily defeats anyone that goes against him. Oki has a burning drive to fulfill his late king's dream of unifying all of China. It is all he truly cares about, and he no doubt believes he has what it takes to accomplish this insane feat. By all accounts, it looks like he does have the strength to back up this ambition, until he encounters Roboku. And 150 chapters into the story, suddenly Oki's entire perception of the world and himself is shattered. In this moment, Oki is forced to come to terms with the fact that though he may be strong, the strongest, even he was destined to be bested by the appearance of those of even greater strength. Such is the eternal struggle and nature of the warring states. Everything that he prided himself on, everything that Oki thought he knew, was spat on. In this moment, Oki is well and truly beaten, and it is from this moment that Shin is then forced to pick up the pieces and carry on Oki's will, humbled but possessing a greater understanding of the level he needs to reach to achieve his dream. So from here, Shin's true character journey can begin. We see it regularly throughout the series from this point. Rather than following someone who is trying to model himself after a certain great general, we are now following a man constantly pushing himself to get closer and closer to becoming the greatest general under the heavens. This type of moment is not necessarily unique. For main characters, we can expect some sort of moment that breaks them, a moment that moves the character to change their understanding of the will, a moment where they lose and must experience a low point in their journey. In many series, characters can experience this multiple times. Oki had his moment 150 chapters in, and Shin has his true moments 300 chapters in, and that is the first reason that bar Marineford, there isn't really a storyline like the Coalition Invasion, because in no other series is there a main character written like Shin. For 300 chapters, Shin was written as the invincible foot soldier, frequently portrayed as the single light of hope across all battlefields, encountering dire situations and acting as the answer to everyone's prayers. He was not written as the typical character who falls short to learn a lesson, as a significant part of his character is that he is unapologetically himself. He is the one shining light on the path for all others. This doesn't mean that Shin has never had to grow. He has of course had multiple personal arcs over time, but the concept of his character has always been the embodiment of strength of will, or in other words, weight, continually personifying the concept of if there's a will, there's a way, which is why it was important that early Shin always prevailed in the end. Tasks that seemed impossible to the common foot soldier or even above average commanders, insurmountable obstacles at first glance to these same people, talented individuals too difficult for someone to best. Always, Shin would deceive everyone's expectations in the end. Seikyo's rebellion, the KO campaign, the assassination plot, the Battle of Baiyo, the Sanyo campaign, over and over. It is the same setup of one man defying all odds, where no one else could prevail. It is always Shin that is the hero in the end. That's not to say that Shin has never lost. It would definitely be kinda lame if the main character never lost. But here lies the important distinction. A true defeat usually involves the sense of having lost something, or having to come to terms of not being able to win, or makes them experience some type of long-term consequence. But Shin's losses were different. It only further reinforced him as the invincible foot soldier, as no matter the setback, it didn't actually matter, as he would bounce back as soon as possible, never truly shaken. He would only come back stronger. Over 300 chapters, we never actually saw Shin lose hope. that he could not defeat someone if he put his mind to it, that he had to acknowledge his limitations at a larger, more important scale. No matter how bad the setback, it had no long-term effect. Rinko put it best: what on earth is the reason for his abnormally strong will? Tendons in his leg are cut deep, and he stands up once more to fight as if nothing happened. Shin's belief never wavers. Time and time again, he keeps trying, sometimes with pure willpower alone. He does what others see to be impossible. And as our world got larger for us the reader, so too did Shin's victories, being more unbelievable, more impressive. It didn't matter who the opponent was, taking down a renowned strategic general hailing from Shao, where they were already lacking for them, playing a significant role against one of the fire dragons of Wei in his very first campaign, and coming out on top, waltzing into enemy territory and defeating a world-famous general that penetrated even Oki's defense. The Haitian unit reflects post-coalition invasion. What we have been shown over 300 chapters was a character who was seemingly unstoppable. They express what we have all begun to feel, like Shin really could be more than a simple moron and truly have no limits. That no challenge was too overbearing for him in the end, not even tanking Renpa, a great heaven of Shao. So essentially 300 chapters of a one-of-a-kind hero, who was hardly written like a human, but more like a superhero, the embodiment of the honest path, of a straightforward arrow let loose, and of Kingdom's concept of weight. Traveling to battlefields across China, being the light of hope wherever he goes, for allies and enemies alike. The one that everyone is focused on, the one you can always bet on. No matter what, Shin would find a way to end any type of injustice. But now we hit a wall, a very large wall. Shin is about to come up against this wall. Something is going to happen to this character that seemed previously impossible, because of how Hara has written Shin for the first 300 chapters up to this point. Shin, who has been fighting on multiple battlefields with quite the success, including civil conflicts, now halfway through his journey, it is finally time for him to experience the true strength of the world, the truth about his dream. It is time to break him. The suffocating advance of the coalition is a very deliberate initial visual to begin the coalition invasion arc, a daunting war where Shin can't possibly imagine the top. Did you enjoy this video? Check out my other videos. Be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated on my latest videos. I appreciate you guys.